Hi, my name is Brandon Smith, and I want to take a few minutes to share with you my story. But before I do that, let me share with you why it's so important to me that I get a chance to spend these few minutes with you. I like to share my story so people can understand really two things. One, why this work is so passionate to me, and two, where it came from, what are the origins of it, and how did I kind of discover this purpose for my life. So as I get into my story, I'd like to take a moment to share with you there are really two things that guide me in the work that I do and that we do. It's really about helping people provide a sense of connection in their life with others that they work with and with their work. And the second is a sense of direction, a real clear sense of something purposeful and meaningful that guides us, both as individuals as well as organizations. So how did I come to all this? So I was born in a small town in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, and I have two older brothers. One is 12 and then 11 years older than me. And so as I tell people, being the youngest of three boys, I'm very familiar with what the inside of a dryer looks like. And so growing up with my two older brothers and his three boys, it was quite a kind of rough and tumble time. And I moved from paper mill town to paper mill town. My father worked for a paper company. And ultimately, we came down to Atlanta as he got transferred to serve the beverage industry. And you think of Coke in Atlanta, that was kind of how we came down to Atlanta. And growing up in Atlanta was very uneventful. Ended up going off to Vanderbilt and got a degree in communications. And I really felt a draw to communications. And today I can sit back and see why, that real draw of helping people connect. But it's not a very practical, direct degree in terms of getting a job. So when I graduated, like most good communication majors, I was unemployed at graduation, wondering what am I going to do with this? And I took a job with a small chain of retail stores and found I had a real passion for business. I loved working in these small businesses and helping them grow. But what I found I loved even more was coaching people. I would spend time with employees and help them try and get a sense of both what they loved doing, but also what they were good at doing, and crafting jobs around that. At the same time, I had a boss who wasn't particularly good at that. And it really taught me two important things about myself during that time. One, people are really desperate and hungry for that. And they'll perform beyond measure when they get it. And two, there's a real need for that in the world. So it was really a formative time for me, and I really set my plan. I said, I really want to do more of this in the world. I want to learn more about it. And so the first part about that plan was to go back and get a master's in counseling. I went to Georgia State University, got a master's in counseling, and I did clinical inpatient therapy work for a number of years, dealing with any of life's curveballs. And during that time, I had two big realizations. One, helping people get a sense of both purpose in life, as well as building those relationships in their life can really help us get out of those dark, deep times. And two, if I can't also help people work on the system in which they're in, success rate can be limited. So I'd be working with someone in therapy, and they'd leave, and they'd be in great shape, and 3 months later, they'd come back. And so it really got me curious on how can I affect the system, and what systems do we spend most of our time in? Companies. So I transferred to the corporate world and started working for a large global insurance company. And I ran the training and development arm for North America, primarily working with small financial institutions, credit unions, banks, all around North America. I traveled to 48 of the 50 states, and as I worked with these folks, I realized that there was real opportunity and power in helping to change even bigger organizations. And I realized I also needed a lot more business language and understanding to do that. Went to Emory University, pursued a master's in business administration, and when I completed my MBA, I had a real decision point for me in my life. And that point was either go off and join a large firm in human capital practice and learn more about this and do this, which was a good decision. I had that on my plate. Or do my own thing. And as I think back and reflect on that decision, it was as if this image came to mind for me. It was like I'd been building a ship this whole time in my life. Even when I didn't know it, I was building a ship. I had a mast, I had sails on the ship, I had a pretty good hull, but there were holes in the bottom of the ship. I knew I didn't know everything, and there was a lot to learn. But at the same time, I also knew the weather was never going to be better. So that was what I did. Along with a partner, we set sail and started our firm in 2005. And since then, we've had tremendously good time and good success working with both individuals and organizations and helping them develop the relationships that they want and need in the workplace, as well as getting a deeper sense of meaning and purpose for where they want to go with their lives. And so that gives you a little sense of my story. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to spending more of it with you.